Deafhead, how you doing? How's your week been? I hope you've had a good week. I've had a good week. I haven't really been up to much, to be honest. Just lots of uni work, been really busy, but good busy. It's all interesting work, it's work that I actually want to do, so it doesn't feel like such a hardship. Last weekend I went back home, went back to mum and dad's, went to visit for a few days, so that was really lovely to go and see everybody. And then this week I've not really done anything. I've just been at uni. I've been doing lots of reading for my course for the past few weeks really, and so I've not really had much time to sit and read my own books, and anybody who knows me knows how much I love reading. I read all the time. I've read so many books, and I read really quickly as well, so I get through them in no time. So it's something I've been really missing because I've just not had the time to do it. So this week I made a point of doing all my uni reading early in the week so that I would have time to sit down and actually read some books for fun. Some nice fiction books, easy reading, just for me to enjoy again. So that's been really lovely. So that's what I've been doing tonight. I've got a glass of wine and a pile of books, and I've just been reading. I just thought that I'd share a few of my favourites with you. So a few of my favourite books, a few of my favourite quotes from my favourite books, because why not? Because that's been the highlight of my week. So that's what I'm going to do. So the thing that sparked this whole idea for this video off, I was rereading this play, The History Boys, which if you've seen my video about my birthday, then you'll know that it's one of my favourite plays and I absolutely love it. I came across this one particular quote which just says, "The best moments in reading are when you come across something, a thought, a feeling, a way of looking at things, which you had thought special and particular to you. And now here it is, set down by someone else, a person you've never met, someone even who is long dead, and it is as if a hand has come out and taken yours." I just thought it was really lovely because it perfectly captures the feeling you get, those moments when you're reading something and something really resonates with you. So I just thought I'd share a few with you because I've read lots. There's lots of those little moments that spring to mind when I read things like that. So I just thought I'd share. So I just want to take 4 books, 4 little quotes, just to share with you. So the first one is from this book, just called Does My Head Look Big in This? But this is a book that I really love, just because it always makes me stop and think. It's about a Muslim girl who is 16, she's just starting year 11, and it's about how she gets through her school life whilst also staying true to her faith and to her religion. There's a section in it and she just writes, "But what's the good of being true to your religion on the outside if you don't change on the inside where it really counts?" And it always makes me stop and think and just go, you know what, it's right. And it's that little reminder that you need to practice what you preach. No good telling everybody else how to behave and how to act if you're not doing it yourself. But I just really like it, and it's a really good book, and it's not all serious like I'm making it sound, I promise. It's really entertaining and very funny, and you should definitely read it. So the second book is a book that I don't have a copy of at the minute because my copy is at home at mum and dad's house, but it looks like this. It's called Dragonskin Slippers. So it's about a young girl who is sent out into the mountains so that she will be captured by a dragon in order for the prince to come and save her so that she can then bring wealth and honour and glory to her family. except when she gets there, the dragons are really friendly, and they don't really want to catch her. They don't want to go and fight the prince. They don't really want to. So she runs away instead and goes off into the city and tries to make it as a seamstress. And it's really difficult. Things don't go well, you know. There's lots of problems for her to try and get over. But she makes friends with the dragons, and they come and help her. And there's one particular night where things are getting really tough for her, and all she wants to do is quit. And her best dragon friend comes to visit her, and they're having a conversation, and he says, you know, if you want, I can take you out of here. I can fly you away. You don't have to deal with any of this anymore. Or just go. You can come and live with me. I can get enough food for us both. There's no need for you to stress and to go through all of this. And she replies, the truth is, I would feel like a failure if I gave up and went with you. And it's always stuck with me from the first time I read the book, of that moment of, she was going through so much. She could so easily have just given up and taken herself out of that situation. She wouldn't have had to deal with the stress and the worry and anything else that was happening. But actually, she persevered, she stuck with it, and in the end, she gets a happy ending. But it just made her character a whole lot more human, and it was that little reminder that things get tough, but if you push through, generally you get a happy ending. I was quite young when I read it for the first time, and that is something that stuck with me. So my third book is called The Shack, and again, I don't own a copy of this book myself. I borrowed Mum's copy because I really love this book, but it looks like this. So it's about a man called Mackenzie Phillips, or Mac. 4 years before the story starts properly, he takes his children camping. They go out hiking in the forest, and his youngest daughter gets abducted, and they find evidence of her having been murdered in this shack. So it skips 4 years down the line, and Mac is in the middle of what he calls the great sadness. So he's obviously grieving and struggling to cope with life and not doing very well at all. One day he finds a note in his mailbox, in his letterbox, supposedly from God, inviting him to go back to this shack and spend a weekend there, to spend some time with God, to reconnect. So he does. He goes off and spends a weekend with the Trinity. The father is a larger-than-life African-American woman. Jesus Christ is a Middle Eastern carpenter, and the Holy Spirit is a little Asian lady. So Mac spends the weekend with these three characters, asking questions basically. But one of the quotes that I always take from it, that always sticks with me, it's just a little tiny sentence that just says, faith does not grow in the house of certainty. And it always just makes me think, you know what? It's alright to question things. It's alright to not believe everything all of the time, because it's only through questioning and through having those moments of doubt that any kind of faith or belief can get any stronger. And it's just nice. It's just a nice little reminder that sometimes it's okay. So then, last but not least, book number 4 is called The Dreamwalker's Child. And this is a book that I found quite by accident. I was on a little marketplace just looking through the books, and I absolutely fell in love with it. That would have been maybe 10 years ago now, and I still read it regularly because it's just a really lovely book. So it's a fantasy novel set in this alternate universe where there's our world, and then just on the outside of our world there's this other world, and the basic concept is that they breed insects, but they use them as fighting machines, as like aeroplanes and helicopters and those kind of things. So they're little tiny people, and they're responsible for all the insects in the world, in our world. So they talk about like when you see ants picking up horseflies, that kind of thing, that the ants are like rescue pods that have been sent out to go and collect the pilots from the horsefly that crashed. It's that kind of thing. So there's this boy called Sam who lives in the human world and gets kidnapped basically and taken through into this alternate world, and it's just him trying to get back to his parents basically. But so he makes friends with this girl called Skipper. She's always trying to cheer him up and keep his spirits up. And one day he's quite down, saying that he doesn't think he'll ever manage to get back to his parents. And Skipper says, well, we all like things to be predictable, don't we? We expect things to be safe and to keep on happening just the way they always have. We expect the sun to rise in the morning. We expect to get up, survive the day, and finish up back in bed at the end of it, ready to start all over again the next day. But maybe that's just a trick we play on ourselves, our way of making life seem ordinary. Because the truth is, life is so extraordinary that for most of the time we can't bring ourselves to look at it. It's too bright and it hurts our eyes. The fact of the matter is that nothing is ever certain. But most people never find that out until the ground suddenly disappears from beneath their feet. And I just think that's really true. And I think we all need to realise how extraordinary life is and make the most of it. Because we have all these expectations and all these plans that we've got loads of time, we can do anything, anytime we want. But life's shorter than we think. So I hope life is extraordinary for all of you. And I hope your week has been extraordinary, David, and I hope your next week is extraordinary. And I look forward to hearing all about it. So I hope you've enjoyed my ramblings there. I just thought I'd share with you because that's what I've been doing. So if you want to see more, if you want to keep up with what we're doing, then subscribe. Give this video a like if you liked it, and I shall see you all next week. High five.